What's up, guys? So if you watched my last video where I was talking about the near-death experience that I had, kind of explaining 3 times where I was kind of close to death, this is the ramp from that first story. So right here, it was raining, I slipped, I hit my head on this coping. It was actually this side of my head and this shoulder, but I fell somehow and tore my collarbone out while I was unconscious. So I was laying here in the rain for 10 minutes and there were 2 guys under the ramp smoking, hiding from the rain. So when I woke up, I went over to ask them what happened and try and find my skateboard, and they told me someone stole my skateboard while I was unconscious. I had some of those Tensor magnesium super light trucks at that time. I had like a brand new setup. All right, so in today's video, I'm gonna give you some tips for skating mini ramp. This is for beginners. First off, I tell people you want to start pumping back and forth. So if you can do kick turns, yeah, that's good. I should have put the softer dragon wheels on for this. But I would say just pump back and forth first. A big ramp like this is nice. It's super easy to pump. Like a really tight ramp might be harder. After that, work on kick turns both ways. I don't know how bad the audio is going to be on this. I probably should do a voiceover, but we'll see. So get to the point where you can pump high enough that you hit the coping. Then you're ready for a different trick. So if you have an extension like this, you can use that to get into a tail stall before you get into a rock to fakie. Because I do think tail stalls are actually easier than rock to fakies. So after that, the next step is a rock to fakie. You can just barely tap it like this at first. And then you can just be the tail stall rock to fakie guy. It just goes back and forth. So after that, you can learn to drop in. Dropping in is harder than a tail stall. Tail stall is easier because all your weight's already in the ramp. When you're dropping in, you have to start from 0, you're not moving at all, to 100, to dropping in, especially on something like this. Now this is actually what I originally learned to drop in on. I actually learned all my tricks, all my mini ramp tricks on this ramp a long time ago when I was a kid. But to drop in, everybody falls backwards, so you just have to make sure you take your front foot, put it over the front bolts, and just slam it all the way down. It seems intimidating at first. Like I remember learning to drop in on a vert ramp, super scary, so much harder than tail stalls, but you just have to make sure you slam it all the way down. So when you're learning to drop in, you have to understand how to interact with the other side if you're gonna like pop out or jump up on the deck, or you know how to do a trick on the other side. I think rock and rolls are easier when they're decked out. So rock and roll is like a rock to fakie, except you're turning, you're pivoting out of it. So for me, all the way up like that, it just feels safer, feels more locked in. And yeah, that's just what I like when it comes to rock to fakie, rock and rolls. So I'd probably learn the rock and roll, and then after that, I'd move on to like an axle stall, 50-50. I think axle stall is a little bit harder, especially if you're on a bigger ramp. If you're on a really small ramp, axle stall might be the easiest thing to do. So I lock in heel side on 50-50s and axle stalls. You can also counter lock like this. So I've got toe side on the front, heel side on the back. That's how a lot of people that skate indies do it. If you skate loose trucks, you kind of have to counter lock. If your trucks are medium or tight, you can heel lock. So after that, you'll want to go a little faster and kind of grind just a little bit. These trucks are slightly bigger than the deck, so it does feel kind of weird to lock into your 50-50s heel locked when your trucks are actually bigger. that could be dangerous. That could be a reason to have a deck that's the same size as your truck. So after axle stalls, I would try to do disasters. So with the disaster, you just kind of pop, and it's kind of like a rock to fakie, just switch. And you could do it just like the rock to fakie, but I kind of like to pop into it. All right, so let's slow down for a second. I think I jumped into some of that stuff too quickly. I want to talk about how you maneuver just in the flat. So once you get comfortable pumping, I think you should get used to stuff like this. Little fakie 360s. And then I think you should get comfortable if you know how to ollie. Just little ollies. Or a little front side ollie here. Let's do a little backside ollie. And you can get more creative from there, like body varial. You can do some shove-its. Let's do a fakie shove. Just almost all the way at the bottom. I like this ramp for flat ground, flip tricks and stuff because it's smoother than the ground at the skate park. I don't skate this park that much because here's what happens at this skate park. Every afternoon, when normal people get off work, when kids get off school, there's all these kids that come from that school up there and they just lay on this ramp and they draw with Sharpies and they spray paint and they write all of this like terrible stuff on the ramps. And when you come and skate, they don't move. Like you can ask them to leave or just skate around them, but they don't move. They just kind of lay there motionless on the ramp. So I don't skate this park that much. So yeah, for a beginner tutorial, I think that's about all I need to go over. As far as the mini ramp goes, here's my personal opinion. I don't know why there's 6 and 7 foot mini ramps. I think this is kind of useless. Here's what I think. This might be controversial. I think a ramp should either be a vert ramp, 10 feet to 14 feet tall, or it should be a tiny little 1 or 2 foot quarter pipe. I think you should learn your tricks on the 1 or 2 foot quarter pipe, and then you should move up to a vert ramp, because this ramp is not that good for airs. It's not that good for actual vert tricks. It's not as fun as a vert ramp. Vert ramps are so much fun. Vert ramps are so much fun. I love skating vert. This ramp, it's okay, but it's nowhere close to the feeling of dropping in or skating on a vert ramp. Also, this ramp is big enough that I could easily get hurt. I kind of want to wear a helmet and knee pads when I skate this ramp. I used to wear big vert knee pads so I could actually knee slide and do some crazy stuff in this ramp. But a kid or somebody who's just learning, they could get hurt on this. This thing is big. So I can't just sit there and learn new tricks, like technical tricks on this ramp. I've done a tray flip in here. I've done tray flip rock to fakies. I've done a little manual across the deck on the top and ollie into the ramp. I've done some things that are kind of hard. I've done blunt to fakie. I've done backside blunts in here. But it's been a long time because this ramp, it's not easy to skate. I think it's weird that a lot of these prefab parks have 1 quarter pipe that's like 7 feet tall and then everything else is small. Like nobody ever skates the 7 foot tall quarter pipe at all the pre-made parks around here. This is not like an example of those. This is a wooden park, but I'm talking about like those metal parks. I think instead of having this skinny 7 foot tall quarter pipe, let's have a really long, like wide 1 or 2 foot quarter pipe, one that you can actually do 50-50s on, actually do Smiths on, one that you can actually learn tricks on. Because these days kids just give up so easily. They don't try to learn things, they don't try to progress. And maybe if the skate park was more accommodating to beginners, they would actually stick with it and skate a little bit longer. I don't think skate parks are for beginners. I think you have to skate in your driveway for like 10 years before you go to the skate park, because they're just not designed to teach people to skate. Have some really mellow small quarter pipes, something you can actually grind, something you can learn tricks on. Have a small manual pad, small ledge, small round rail, stuff that you can actually learn on. All right, so that's my opinion. Scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, check out that video, check out the near-death experience video. I didn't want to make that video. I'm still super embarrassed about it, but that's my story, that's what I remember, so I guess that's out there now. Also, check out the video where Gifted Hater reacts to me and also reacts to Alex Jones and talks about how he actually watches Alex Jones. I think that's a good video. There's a lot of good information in that one. Also, check out the video where I talk about these hollow forged light Indy mids with the inverted kingpin. I really like these trucks actually. They're not that heavy, like I could easily get used to them. And the heaviness kind of adds to them. It allows you to push through grinds. They grind so good. So check that video out. I used to skate Tensors and Crux and Grind King and Royals and all that stuff back when I was a kid. And none of them really turned right. Thunder and Indy turn right. Also Ace turns really well. Ace turns a little too well. I had a hard time skating them when I skated them. I know they make lows now, maybe I should try that. I don't think I could find something better than these Indies with the inverted kingpin. Like, you have so much kingpin clearance and they grind so well. I think it would be hard to find something that would be better than this. I know the Ace trucks are made of a softer material, softer metal, and they grind better, but they actually wear out faster and there's not a lot of kingpin clearance, so especially on the lows. So I would definitely suggest these Indies. Also with Thunders, I talked about this in that video, but they feel delicate. They feel like I'm trying to protect them, like I'm worried they're going to break or wear down to the kingpin. Technically, I can skate better with Thunders. They're lighter, they're more technical, but they just feel a little delicate. I think this is better value for your money because I think these things are gonna last me a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, and hit the subscribe button because I got a lot more videos to come. Thanks for watching.